Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So in today's video, I am going to be showing you how to make a neon light. So for this you will need a Sims 4 Studio, a photo editor, and Blender. Blender I will link in the description. You need one of the older versions because the newest one's not compatible with the game, but I'll leave a link to it in the description. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to Sims 4 Studio. And you're going to want to go to Object. Make sure you have Create 3D Mesh. And then hit Object. And in the search bar, type in Plank. Because we're going to be using this wall light right here. And then hit Next. Okay, so this is your package file that you're going to put into your game. So just go ahead and name it whatever you like. So I usually put my creator name in it and then whatever it is. And then hit save. Okay, so here's the name of whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to... And then here would be your description. You can just put your creator name in it or a little description of it if you want. I'm just gonna put by just a something. And you can change the price of it if you want. So now go to Meshes and make sure that it's on LOD 0 and high. It's standard. This is the way it should pop up anyway, but just make sure. And then export the mesh. You're creating a Blender file. So I'm just gonna title this Plank and then hit save. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna want to do, now that we got our Blender file, double click it to open it up in Blender. Okay. So it might be a little confusing because I'm going to be right here where it says object mode. You have object mode and edit mode. I'm going to be in and out of those a lot, but I will put it up on screen whenever I'm changing, so that way you know what mode you need to be in. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go to edit mode. Hit A on your keyboard. And so that way you highlight your mesh here, and then hit X. And right here where it says vertices, hit vertices, and that will delete it. So the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to go back and hit Tab. Tab will bring you back over to object mode. We're going to go back into object mode. Right there, I hit Tab. And we're going to come right on down here and add our font. Or our text, actually. Right here. And what you can do while you're right here is go down to rotation, where it's under X, the X-axis, hit 90. That way you can pull it up here. And if you hit G, the G key, I'll have it on the screen. That's for grab, and then you can move your text wherever you want. It doesn't matter where you have it. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, like perfectly aligned with this, because the back of this is going to be deleted anyways. So, okay, so now when you got your text where you want, hit Tab again for edit mode. And here, I'm going to go ahead, hit backspace to delete it. And put good. Hit enter for the second line. Good vibes. There we go. Hit, oops. Okay. Now if you come over to this side here, you have right here where it says F. That's for your fonts. So hit F. Come down here and where it has a little folder to choose your font. I have fonts saved right here. However, you can go to, here, let me pick my font first real quick, and then I'll come back and show you. Once you have your font chosen, you can come down here where it says spacing. You can put if you want to space out, you can space individual lines. So we're gonna back up panel, or individual words or individual letters. I'm gonna space the letters one time. That's just for me, so that way it's a little spaced out. And then right here where it says extrude, oops, okay, there we go. I'm just gonna extrude it just a little bit here. This is just to give it some depth on your wall. Let me switch. I'm gonna go to 20, maybe 25. Okay, there we go. Okay, so back to the font. Here we go. I just wanted to choose my font while I had it open. So hit the envelope key again. Okay, I'm gonna use the bold line here just so that way I don't have to get rid of this. Because if you want to remove the font, to choose another one, you have to hit the X to close it out. Okay, so if you don't have a separate folder for your fonts, I have my installed fonts here. And you go to the location that your fonts are in on your computer, which if it's a Windows computer, go to your C drive, go to Windows, and right here, here's all your fonts that are on your computer. So I just wanted to show you where you can go and find your fonts at, because I forgot that I put mine in a separate folder. Okay, but anyways, moving on. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is hit Tab and go back to Object mode. Go down to Object and Convert to. You could also use Alt-N, but go to Object, or I mean Alt-C, I'm sorry. So go to Object, Convert to Mesh from Curve. After you do that, hit Tab, back into Edit mode, and then hit Control-N. Sorry, and right down here, tick inside where it says Make Normals Consistent. Now we're going to hit Tab again, back to Object. And we're going to we're going to have to add a modifier, which is right here, this wrench. And hit Add Modifier and Decimate. So right down here where you see these three, click Planar. It's the third one over. Right down here where it says Angle Limit, we're going to click on that and change it to 24. Hit Enter. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to merge our mesh with the text. Click on Text right over here, and then Shift click Studio Mesh 1. And then hover, make sure your mouse is hovering on the side, and hit Control J. Okay, so now it's merged. Okay, so now we're gonna get rid of, actually, you know what, let's do this first real quick. This is really, the font is really big. So what we're gonna do first, real quick, I'm gonna scale this down so it's not so huge on the wall. So make sure you're clicked onto Studio Mesh 1. Hover over it and hit the S key, and that's for scale. And then you can just go ahead and, oops, hold on. Sometimes it takes there we go. I just don't want it so huge. But just a little bit, okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to click on Studio Mesh 0. That's this white thing in the back. And we're going to scale this down to 0. So we can scale it down. What I usually do is right here, X, Y, and Z, I just changed those to 0 to make sure that it's gone. There we go. Okay, so click on Studio Mesh 1. Then we're going to go back into edit mode. Hit tab, and then tab will bring you into the edit mode. And then hit A to highlight to select your whole mesh. Then we're going to come down here to image, new image, and hit OK. So this is what it might look like here. This is what it always looks like for me. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go save this. So hit File. I'm just going to hit Save As because I'm going to change the name. I'm going to just call this Light. And then I'm going to save the file. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to delete Studio Mesh 0. So click on it and hit delete. And then come back down to Studio Mesh 1. This is for the shadow. So go to Scene, which is these 3 little dots here. And we're going to change this cut on where it says Sims 4 Studio CAS tools. We're going to change the cut to 0. And then we're going to save it again. Do a save as, because you don't want to overwrite this light that we just made. So I'm just going to, because you're going to need both files. I'm just going to put a 0 at the end, and then I'm going to save that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into Photoshop because we have to make the texture. So I'm going to go to New, and it needs to be 64 by 64. I'm just going to title this white because you're going to want to make like a little white box. Right here is where you can change the background. We're transparent background color white. We're just going to keep it on white. Hit OK. And now we're going to save this as a PNG. Let me put it in the right folder. Okay, so we'll be coming back to that. Okay, so once we have that made, we're going to go back into Sims 4 Studio. And here, we're going to add our textures now. We're going to go ahead and import our meshes. So here's the 3 shadows, and then this is the normal. So we're going to start with the normal one. We're going to go ahead and import our first light. Okay, now we're going to go to the second one, medium. We're going to import the same thing, the light again. Okay, then we're going to import it again for the low. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and import the shadows. That's the second one that we had made. So let's go ahead and import this for the shadow. We're going to import where I saved it as light 0. Okay, now we're going to import the medium one. And then we're going to import the low. Okay, now we're going to go to texture, and we're going to import that that white PNG that we made. That's the texture. And now it's white. Okay, and now we're going to go to warehouse, and we're going to import the specular, or the normal and the specular. Don't worry, I will leave those down in the description so that way you'll have them. So you have the 3 DST images here. So we're going to go to the second one here. And then we're going to go to import. And we're going to import normals. And then go down to the next one, the next DST image. And we're going to import the specular. After you put in your specular and your normal map, you can come right down here to light. If you want to change it a little bit, go to lights, edit item, and here you can change the intensity. I put it up to about 120, and then save it, and then save your package file again. And now we'll go into game and look at it. Okay, so go into build by mode and sort. Go to show all here and sort by custom content. And here it is. So we can go ahead and turn off all the lights. Make sure to click on it. And there's your neon light. You can change the colors. I have it set to really bright. So it might be really bright depending on what color you're on. So anyways, guys, that'll be it for this video. Hopefully I helped somebody. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And I will talk to you next time. Bye, guys.